I think, particularly for Americans, like think about America is a nation of explorers. People came here from other parts of the world that, chose to give up the known in favor of the unknown. So I think exploration, I think the United States is a distillation of the human spirit of exploration. So that's why it appeals to Americans so much. You can see this when, say, there was a shuttle tragedy and 7 people died, and that's terrible. But a lot of people die all the time. But why do we care so much? Because it was the dream of exploration that was dying along with those people. That's why.
What was your best idea ever?
My best idea ever?
Yeah.
This is tricky. I suppose coming to North America was my best idea, because I think these things would not have been accomplished almost anywhere else. It's really hard to start a company, but and particularly California, Silicon Valley is very conducive to startup companies, whenever I'd read books in South Africa, it would seem like the cutting edge of technology was in Silicon Valley, and so that's when I wanted to come and I wanted to move to this mythical place.
Okay.
There's a tremendous amount of will in the American population, particularly to explore. The United States, maybe more than any other country, is a distillation of the human spirit of exploration, and it's really fundamental to psyche. So, if people think there's a way, I think it would actually get a lot of support. But then it can't be just banging your head against the wall. You've got to believe that this can be done without breaking the federal budget. So that's when I said, okay, well, is there some way to affect the cost of space transport? And so I got together with a group of people over a series of Saturdays just to try to understand, is there something fundamentally super expensive about rockets, or can the cost be substantially improved? We had a bunch of those kind of brainstorming sessions, and I couldn't see any fundamental obstacle to improving the cost of rockets. So that's when I started SpaceX. The United States is also a great melting pot of different cultures and ideas and thoughts, and it's a country which tends to encourage success, where you sort of see someone that did extremely well, and generally the reaction in the United States is good for that person. In most countries, it may shock people in the United States. In most countries, that's not the reaction. People tend to think, oh, that person did well because they screwed somebody else, or they try to rise beyond their station. That was really inappropriate of them to be so nouveau riche, to use a French word. And so that, and Australia, for example, which is arguably similar to the United States in a lot of ways, but they tend to try to knock down people that have risen too high. They call it the tall poppy syndrome. Tall poppies get chopped. So I think that's really a good thing about the United States. Well, a lot of people died to, win independence for the country and fight for the democracy that we have, and we should treasure that and not give up our liberties too easily. I think we probably did that, actually.